everything around you that you call life was made up by people that were no smarter than you.
More than I can say, do it to me. More than I can say, do it to me. More than I can say, do it to me.
So today I'm going to be installing the 12mm spacers that finally came in the mail just right before Weekfest, which is crazy. So this is what it looks like. This does not come with the extended studs, whereas the ones in the mail came here, which are 50mm, do come with the extended studs. So what I was saying earlier in the last video was that this where the other studs come from with the 25mm would not pass through the other holes of the wheels like this one's. I'll show you one more time. So for these holes, the studs that are coming out of these ones are not able to go through here for some reason. So that's why I wasn't able to run the 15mm in the back. But what's happening right now is that I'm going to be putting the 12s on top of the 25mm just for the rear only, just because it only came in 2. So more of my concern is actually the fitment in the rear versus the front. Like the front is also not as good, but I'm mainly gonna fix the rear first, at least get the rear good enough for Weekfest. But yeah, let's see how it is, and I will show you guys the process.
More than I can say, do it to me. More than I can say, do it to me. More than I can say, do it to me.
Alright, so now I have the 12mm. I'm gonna be putting it onto this one. And now, like I said, this one doesn't have extended studs, so it does make it easier for installation. There we go. Right on top, just like that. So this is hub centric, this is 5x100, and this is also 56.1 center bore for this. So hopefully this amount right here, just before I put the wheel back on, this is the 25mm and this is the 12, so just to show you guys exactly what's going on. Pretty much I want the wheel just to be flush with this. So we're gonna go ahead and also see like how the ride height is, depending on, like, you know, with how the spacer, you know, pushed out the wheel and whatnot. We're gonna see how that is, but I'm gonna go ahead and put back the wheel. Alrighty, so finally it's on. Put the wheels back on and the lugs are tightened. So this is how it is with fitment. Now I will show you like a before and after with the other side of the tires. But that's pretty much, I mean, that's close to what I want it to be. It could be a tiny bit better, like more sticking out, but I think that's fine for now. Obviously I have no other choice. So essentially this is the plan. With the fitment how it is now, I'm gonna put it on the other side as well and see how that sits. Also try the 12mm just for fun, just to see how it is for the front. And if that's exactly like how I want it in terms of fitment, then I'm gonna buy fresh all 4 brand new spacers that are like one piece, that's like pretty much not stacked on top of each other, just because I know that's better. It's less wear on the hub and like the differential and like just the axle and everything. So just, this is temporary, so if any of you guys like just give me crap for like saying like why are you stacking spacers or even running spacers in the first place, one, I don't want to get a whole new wheels just for the flares. I think that's just retarded. Like I just got these Rays as well, and it's not a wide body kit, so I think that spacers are good enough for this fender flare kit that I'm finally running on the car. Like I'm for sure gonna switch to one piece like wheel spacers, as you know, as soon as I figure out exactly what the fitment that I want, and either like keep the spacers that I have now or sell it to a friend or something. So just bear in mind, just keep in mind that the 2-piece wheel spacers that I'm doing stacking on top of each other is temporary. It's not going to be like the final thing, just for like safety reasons and whatnot. But just to show you on this side, this is how it looks without the 12mm spacers. So you can see that there's like a gap. For sure there's a good amount of gap with like no 12mm spacers. Just to see how it is with the 12mm spacers and for the front as well. So I will be only doing the driver's side of swapping the 12mm for the rear and the front. And like I said, to fully determine what actual size I need, and then buy the one piece full like spacer for like both the front and back. So just a test and fit kind of a thing. Alright, so actually I went ahead and did the front first just to see how the 12mm sits, and guys, it sits perfectly. This is exactly how I want it to be. Let me just show you guys like how it looks. So right there, the fitment, it's really nice and flushed to the flares. That's exactly how I want it to be. Now in terms of height, I don't want to really risk it and go lower. This is already 1 finger space, which actually I measured with a measuring tape from the end of this flare all the way to the floor. It's actually 25 inches, I believe, and it's the same thing with the other side. They're both even. So I don't, like I said, I don't really want to like risk that. If other people, you know, give me crap for like saying, oh, you should go lower, I, to be honest, don't really care. Until like 8 bags or whatever later on, then yeah, of course I'll be able to go lower. But I think that's the ideal spacing and height that I should do for both front, like the driver side and passenger side. I didn't test the passenger side yet. I will. I think that's what I want to do ideally, is just to run 12mm in the front. So, which is good now, because that means I know exactly like what to buy. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the front out and put it in the rear, and just to see like how the fitment is for the rear. So for this wheel, the driver's side rear, I'm noticing that the fitment on this almost looks exactly the same as the front. Not saying that that's weird or anything, that's, I mean, it should be like that, but what I'm noticing is that the height difference, or maybe the camber difference, this one is more like the front, or this one's at least more positive compared to the passenger side of the rear on the other side. I'll show you guys that in a second, but just to show you like the height and everything, the gap that I'm dealing with. So 1 finger space, and I'm gonna also measure it with a measuring tape here in a second, but just to show what exactly like looks a little bit different compared to the other side, because you come on this side now, the passenger side, and like the height difference is a little bit like, this is more, my finger is more like it's looser, it has more of a gap compared to the other side. Now I don't think it could be possible just the way that the shop installed this specific flare compared to the other one, or maybe it's just my toe is a little bit off, which I know I will get an alignment soon again, but I just, that's something that I noticed. But the true test is going to be when I measure from, you know, the end of this flare, the bottom of this, all the way to the floor with the measuring tape, to see exactly by numbers like how much it's different or if it's the same at all. Okay, so what I went and found out right now is if like my height is even at all. So I actually went and used the measuring tape like I said earlier before, and yes, the right side is a little bit higher. The passenger side is like 25.3 or so, whereas like this side, the driver's side is 25 flat, 25 even. So, and I made sure, like took the precaution, making sure that that floor is even too, and it is even. I used the leveler, so I made sure of that. But yeah, for sure the right side is a little bit higher. I'm gonna go ahead and actually lower a little bit more on that side right now. It'll still be safe, it'll still be like a 1 finger gap, but right now what it is just a tiny bit more than 1 finger gap, I guess. Gonna go ahead and adjust that, and then from there it should be good for the rear completely in terms of like exactly the fitment that I need. It's a 12mm, so I'm gonna go ahead and adjust that. and hopefully it looks good, and I'll show you guys. Alright guys, so like any other adjustment on coilovers, I'm pretty much going to make this a tiny bit lower, then I just loosen the lock on the bottom and then go ahead and just bring it down a tiny bit more. So hopefully it comes out to where we want it to be and it looks good. So now it is lower. Now it is not 100% exactly like the left side, the driver's side, but it is pretty much like 98-97% close. I think I'm just gonna bear with that. It's fine, it's good enough to be honest, but it just looks so much better with the 12 millimeters. Now it's time to buy the 12 millimeters for the front as well, so I wouldn't have to deal with this weird like fitment gap right now. It looks so much better regardless. Like I said, it's just this whole process took so long, and it's still going technically, but it's gonna end 100% very, very soon. But that's pretty much it for today's vlog, today's like install, I guess. I know I lied that I said that the next vlog would be Weekfest, but these came in the mail and I just had to show you guys exactly like what was going on in terms of fitment issues. So yeah, but that's pretty much it guys. For sure the next vlog will be in Weekfest. I will already be in the show by then, and the car will exactly sit how it is now with fitment and everything. But that's pretty much it guys. I will catch you guys later, and I'll keep you guys updated as always. See ya.